channel. My name is Tina and I'm a lawyer engaged in corporate law practice in the Philippines. I completed my law degree at the UP College of Law in Diliman, QC. Okay, so as one of my new subscribers pointed out, the UP Law Aptitude exam is just around the corner. That new subscriber, hello Jay Serrano, thought that it would be a good idea for me to share some tips about getting into UP Law, as well as tips in answering the UP Law Aptitude exam. So I thought that since I have gone through the whole process, except for the panel interview, more on that later, I would recount my experiences and share with you any tidbits of knowledge that I may have gained from taking the UP l.a.e, or l.a.e, as people like to call it. So the UP Law Aptitude exam consists of objective tests as well as essays designed to test one's ability to study the law. So it's very specifically tailored to the study of law in the sense that it measures the particular abilities needed in order to succeed as a law student or as a lawyer. The objective of this video is not for you to overthink, because I really don't think anyone should overthink whether it comes to the UP l.a.e or to the bar exam. This is all spoken based on experience. Don't overthink it. So this is just a really short bunch of tips that I think might be useful to you guys. But I don't want you to overthink it, because if it's intended for you guys, it will really be for you. If it's destined for you, it will happen, whether it's because you decided it would happen or because the universe just dropped it onto your lap. May list na naman ako. Wait lang guys. Okay, so my first tip for taking the UP l.a.e is to be strategic. Definitely know the subject matter. This is just like studying in law school really. You have to know what's being asked of you. Otherwise, magsasayang kayo ng oras on subject matter that you never really needed to know in the first place. You may as well have spent that time actually studying subject matter which you know for certain would be asked. Ganyan lang din sa law school. For example, if you're studying for one of your criminal law subjects, you won't be reading too much into the civil law aspects of the case, because you know that what you're studying for is for a criminal law professor, and that criminal law professor will be testing you on criminal law principles, not civil law principles. Ganyan din sa l.a.e. You guys have to know of what the l.a.e consists, and it consists of these subjects. As you could see from the subjects of which the l.a.e consists, you don't need to know some matters, like for example science. So don't bother with that. There are plenty of other things that you can polish your knowledge on. Make sure that hindi kayo magsasayang ng oras sa mga subjects na hindi naman itatanong sa l.a.e. In my personal experience taking the l.a.e, there were a lot of reading comprehension questions, a lot of abstract reasoning questions, and a couple of math questions. Those are the ones that really stuck in my mind. Therefore, because I remembered them, considering that I took the l.a.e years and years ago, those must have been the difficult ones. Yung mga reading comprehension, abstract reasoning, and math. So the first tip is really to be strategic about it. Know the pool of subjects from which questions will be asked, and study accordingly. My second UP l.a.e tip is to prepare and to review. Like everything in life, if you don't put in the work, don't expect anything to happen. The best thing to do for diagnostic exams like this is really to be prepared, para hindi mo masisisi yung sarili mo later on na, hindi ako pumasa sa dream school ko because I didn't prepare enough. I'm aware that you can take the l.a.e again and again if you want to, but you don't want to be taking it again and again and again, year after year. You want to nail it on your first try. How did I prepare and review in particular? I did it by enrolling myself in a review center, which catered in part to, aside from college admissions, to UP l.a.e admissions in particular. I think it was Brains. I was in my 4th year of fine arts that time. I was defending my thesis at that time, but I was so determined to go to UP Law that during weekends, instead of polishing my thesis to its best version, I would attend review classes. This wouldn't happen all the time kasi may namimiss din naman ako na class, but for the most part, I attended the classes for those subjects which I knew that I wasn't the best in and needed improvement. Another thing that you can do to prepare is to buy diagnostic test booklets. Nabibili yun sa National like for example, for general knowledge questions, you can check yung mga brain blitz na books, parang activity books sila that you can buy in National Bookstore. Kanya-kanyang study style naman yan. At this point in your lives, you should know what study style works for you. If taking review classes helps you, or if one-on-one tutoring is more effective, then that's what you should stick to. The UP-LAE is not going to test you on subject matter that you're going to take palang in law school. It's intended to test you on subject matter that you're already supposed to know after having taken elementary, high school, and college. So it's not new subject matter. Don't bother studying law terms or checking out law textbooks kasi hindi yan itatanong. So, most of the subject matter of the l.a.e. should be those matters which were already taken up in elementary, in high school, and in undergrad. It's really just a matter of refreshing yourself. You should definitely brush up on your basic concepts. You should definitely have a working understanding of those matters which you took up before. Definitely, I would advise you to brush up on the meat of the core subjects of the UP-LAE. Because the UP-LAE is supposed to measure your abilities based on what you already know, it's important that you know those basics. It's a lot of stock knowledge. So that's what I would advise you to brush up on. Would I recommend enrolling in a review program? I would say that that's a very subjective matter. Kasi like ako, I came from a fine arts background. Yung undergrad ko was advertising arts. So I knew personally that medyo malayo yung undergrad course ko from Juris Doctor, or law school. I wasn't confident enough to take on the UP-LAE alone without any guidance, without any outline of what would actually come out in the exam. I also wanted to have a guide or an idea of the matters that would be taken up in the exam, kahit hindi naman ako necessarily nag-attend ng lahat ng classes. I definitely attended the classes for those subjects na medyo mahina ako, or medyo tagilid. I really don't like math, so I made sure to attend those subjects sa mga review class. Weakness ko talaga, kryptonite levels. On the flip side naman, if you came from a pre-law course that's a little bit closer in nature to law school, then you might feel a bit more confident about going into the UP-LAE without having taken a review class. A lot of people I know though actually nag-enroll nga sila sa review center because they wanted to make sure na malalock in nila yung dream school nila. My third UP-LAE tip is to really be conscious of time. Parang bar exam lang yan ulit. With the UP-LAE, each section is timed and you cannot go back to previous sections once you've finished those sections. One of the good things about UP-LAE is that hindi siya right minus wrong. Because hindi naman right minus wrong, walang mawawala sa inyo if you really answer every single question even if hindi kayo sure sa answer. Advice ko sa inyo is don't leave anything blank. Any answer is better than no answer. If you're unsure of an answer, take an educated guess. There's a probability na makukuha nyo naman talaga yung sagot with your educated guess. Kasi if you leave something blank, there's a 0 probability na makakakuha kayo ng correct answer for that item. But if you make an educated guess, then there's a 25% chance that you will get a correct answer for that number. It's very important to be conscious of time. Kasi pag medyo nasa-stump kayo sa isang question or you're not quite sure of your answer or you're half sure but you're trying to debate internally whether or not you should go with this one or this one, you tend to not notice that the time is slipping away. And the thing about the l.a.e. is mahaba siya. That's one thing that I remember vividly is that mahaba siya. My advice is to not waste more than 2 minutes on a single question. If hindi nyo masagot within 2 minutes, next na. Go na next. For me, what I would do is, if hindi ako sure sa answer, lalagyan ko na agad ng sagot. I would immediately choose what I felt was closest to the answer, kahit hindi ako 100%. And then I would just add a little marks aside sa mga margin to serve as my guide in the event that I did have time to go back. Kasi diba, at least if I didn't have time to go back, at least may sagot na. May 25% probability pa rin na may correct answer ako. So remember guys, don't linger on a particular question. In the UP-LAE, it's a matter of numbers. So padamihan ng tamang sagot. It's really a race against time, so you have to be very conscious of time. Okay, my next UP-LAE tip is to focus on training yourself in areas which you know are your weaker points. Like I have abhorred math since I was in high school. Kaya ang lakas ng loob ko mag-law, diba? Actually, in law school, there's still a bit of math, but subject again for another video. I remember during my l.a.e. in particular, there were a lot of algebra and a lot of geometry questions, which is good because those are the relatively simpler branches of math, which I was able to understand naman. UP-LAE was like the bar exam, in the sense that you have to be completely aware of your weaknesses and use that as a jumping off point to retrain yourself and to supplement the knowledge na medyo hindi kayo masyadong malakas on. In the bar exam, for example, I know that taxation isn't my strongest suit. Kasi nga ayoko ng math, di ba? So I devoted extra time to studying taxation. And it turned out to be one of my highest grades in the bar, actually. So, kaya guys. Know your strengths, know your weaknesses, and devote more time to addressing your weaknesses. It might be useful for you guys to do yung diagnostic tests before taking the l.a.e. So at least you know what areas you need to focus on more or what areas you need to improve on. And after you've done your review center classes or your self-study for the l.a.e., then you should definitely take mock tests para makita nyo kung nag-improve talaga kayo. And if your initial grades on those problem areas still haven't improved, then you should definitely study even harder. My next UB-l.a.e. tip is not to overthink. Personally, I've found throughout the years, from taking the l.a.e. to taking exams in UP Law to taking the bar exam, that going with your gut feel is always best. Promise. Di ba minsan we have gut feels about people or about certain situations? Well, definitely my gut feel din ang pagsagot ng exams. You should go with the answer that you feel in your educated mind and in your heart. In your heart? That you feel in your educated mind is correct. Lalo na if you have more than 2 choices that you feel are correct, go with your gut feel about the one answer that you think is right. It's happened to me many times that I have this gut feel answer. Tapos masyado ako nag-overthink. So I try to convince myself that my initial gut answer was wrong. Yung nangyayari dyan more often than not is that my first gut answer turns out to be the correct answer. Nakakainis, di ba? When humans are put in difficult situations, their mind goes into overdrive. Alam niyo yun, it's survival, it's fight or flight. So usually the first answer that comes to mind, like yung aha, yun na yun. Trust your gut instinct. I'm sure at this point in your lives, it's helped you in many situations, and you should use that to your advantage sa l.a.e. My next l.a.e. tip applies to those long questions. And trust me, maraming long questions ang l.a.e. Itong tip na to, nagagamit ko sa law school and I also used it in the bar exam. If the facts of the problem are long, then you skip over the facts, huwag niyo munang basahin, and you go straight to the question para alam niyo na agad what is being asked. Kasi diba, it's always useful to know what you're looking for compared to magda-dive kayo headfirst into the problem. Tapos you don't know what you're looking for and you're spending all of your time reading a very, very lengthy problem with unnecessary facts that are trying to trick you or to distract you, compared to if you've already read the question and you know what particular items to look out for. So that's definitely a way to maximize your time and to be efficient when it comes to answering. UB-l.a.e. examiners, they're trying to distract you from the facts. Kasi ganun ang law school eh. Pag nagbasa kayo ng cases, there are many, many distracting facts or facts that you don't really need. Hi guys, I am back. Sorry na wala ako bigla. It's because I had to get the elixir of life. Alam niyo na, this is life juice. Coffee is life. So, where was I? So yeah, law school is a lot like l.a.e. in the sense that your professors and your cases will try to distract you from the actual material that you really need to retain. A lot of the time, sa mga case, ang daming sinasabi that are really unnecessary for your purposes. Yung parang daming sinasabi but it doesn't really impact on the issue or it doesn't squarely address the issue. You should view the l.a.e. in that way. Law school is a lot about issue spotting. It's learning how to take a problem, how to analyze it, to come out with the issues, and then to eventually resolve those issues. That same process is being applied to l.a.e. examinees. Like I said, examiners are really aiming to test your propensity, your ability, your capacity to study the law. And when you study the law and eventually join the law practice, you have to be able to quickly identify issues. Learning how to spot issues is a permutation of critical thinking. So you can really see how the l.a.e. is directly tied to the study of law, in that the skills that you need to apply in the l.a.e., as well as the skills that the examiners are looking to test in the l.a.e., are skills that are directly applied once you start studying the law. My next tip is to use the process of elimination. When you're answering problems, let's say there are 4 choices, and you're not sure exactly kung ano yung 100% tamang answer, but you can see that 2 of those choices are wrong. Like, kita mo agad na there's no way in the world that these 2 answers could be correct. So what you do then is, i-cross out nyo na agad, i-eliminate nyo na agad. The good thing about eliminating some answers is that You do away with the visual clutter. You also do away with having to bother with those choices na in the first place, alam mo naman talagang mali. So cross it out and direct your attention towards the remaining answers. This procedure was very helpful to me nung nag-take ako ng l.a.e. Because a lot of the time, answers look very deceptively similar. Like yung parang sa tingin mo, there are just so many possible correct answers. Siyempre, mahirap yun kasi in addition to the time that you needed to take to identify the right answer or the right answers, you're also spending time internally debating which among the answers that look right is actually the correct one. So, elimination agad. Remember, in the UP l.a.e, time is a precious commodity. Like, a few seconds could spell the difference between success and failure talaga. One wrong or right answer could spell the difference between success or failure. Kaya very important to be efficient when answering. Also, when you answer essays, I know that you think that because it's law school, the tendency is that the examiners may want to hear flowery answers. You might have the tendency to want to demonstrate to the examiners how extensive your vocabulary is. But you guys have to fight that urge. Because in all likelihood, kung masyadong mahaba or masyadong flowery yung essay answer nyo, maiirita lang yung examiner sa inyo. And this is something that definitely applies to law students or would-be law students as well. l.a.e. examiners don't want someone who beats around the bush because that's not a good characteristic of a lawyer. They want someone who can give the answer to them as quickly, as succinctly as possible. Yung kuha na agad, bam! Rather than paikot, ikot, tapos you leave it up to the examiner pa to find the answer himself or herself, di ba? Sino bang hindi maiirita doon? Trust me, examiners, whether it be for UP l.a.e. or the bar examiners, appreciate an answer that is direct to the point. Also, if the answer is yes or no, never forget to explain your answer. It's true that you might get partial points for a simple yes or a simple no, but it's a lot of valuable points wasted then if you don't explain your reason. Kasi sa mga essay question na yan, there really is no right or wrong answer. The examiner just wants to test how you defend your answer because it's a skill that you will be needing in law school. Okay, so I hope that those tips were helpful to you in some way. Those were the ones that I found worked for me the most, so I wanted to share them with you. Also, don't forget to bring your jacket, your extra pencil, your munchies, or candy in case magutom kayo or you need a sugar rush. Now on to the panel interview. I wish I could give you guys tips on the panel interview, but I didn't have to take the panel interview during my time. Because if you were part of the top 100 examinees of the UP l.a.e, then you would be immediately exempted from the interview. Hay salamat Lord na hindi ako kasama sa interview kasi siguro inatakin ako sa puso noon. I did have friends who had to go through it. So based on what I recall, this is my feedback from them. The questions really vary. Like they could be anything under the sun. They could be scholastic. They could be about your opinion, your goals. They could ask you about current events. But sa mga interview, merong good cop tsaka merong bad cop. So there would be someone very protagonistic and there would be someone very antagonistic. So the good cop would be, natural, normal, asking personal questions, wanting to know more about the applicant. But then there would be a bad cop na parang kinokontra yung lahat ng mga sagot ng applicant. And the purpose of that bad cop is to test whether you can defend your answer. There is no right or wrong answer. Professors really just want to see if you can successfully defend your answer. It doesn't matter which side you choose. What matters is that you stick to your answer, you can successfully back it up, and you do so in a respectful manner, of course. My next tip for the panel interview is to relax. Kasi if you're worked up during your interview, this will show the panel that you have the weak ability to cope with stress. And believe you me, law school is plentiful in terms of stress. Kung makikita ng panel na sobrang ninenervyos ka na, that you're sweating buckets, that your voice is trembling, naturally, this will lead to the conclusion that you're poorly equipped to study the law. Because if a simple panel is enough to make you break down, ano nang mangyayari sa'yo when you're faced with the prospect of recitation every single day of your law school life? Natatayo ka in front of an entire room of people waiting to hear what you have to say, tapos sa panel interview composed of maximum 4 people lang, wala ka nang masabi. Like I've said before, law school is a test of grit. If professors see you crumble sa preliminary interview pa lang, na wala ka pang isang araw sa harsh reality that is law school, the panel will decide for you that you don't really belong in law school. Sayang. So just relax. If it's meant to be for you, then it will be given to you by the universe. One trick that I found to be very useful to me while I was studying law was when I got really nervous, nilalower ko yung voice ko. Like, I would keep it very low and very steady para hindi halata yung quivering of my voice. So, a practical tip in the panel interview is to keep your voice low. If you're an emphatic person in the sense that you like speaking with your hands, you can do that. That's totally fine. Just don't overdo it. Kasi if you move your hands around too much, then that's also an indicator of nervousness. I would say be relaxed, be open, be yourself. Take confidence in the fact that you already hurdled the first part of the UP Law admission process, which is the l.a.e. Sayang naman if you ruin your good chances just by blowing the interview. Also, don't forget to always be respectful sa interview. In UP Law, I'm not sure if it's like this in other law schools, pero sa UP Law, professors are really treated as gods. Diyos talaga ang professors. And I don't mean Diyos in the sense na dictator or tyrant. I just mean it in the sense that, of course, being the brilliant professors that they are, they always have the final say. They demand a certain level of respect. Huwag niyong isipin na because you're in a panel interview for law school, dapat magpakitang gilas kayo when it comes to debating. That is a wrong approach. Kasi while professors naman, they enjoy scholastic debate or they're open to it. Pag nasa law school ka na, interview lang to eh. Preliminary lang to it. It's not just scholastic prowess that they're trying to gauge when they interview you. They're also trying to see if good fit yung personality mo sa personality ng UP Law as an institution. Just be open, be honest, candid, respectful, relax, and you should really have no problem. It should be a breeze. Pag may bad cop sa interview nyo, the antagonist, don't lose patience, always keep your cool. Remember that that bad cop was placed there for a reason. If you're given a general question, answerable by yes or no, alam niyo yung mga types of questions na walang correct answer, and kinontra kayo ng bad cop na professor, I suggest that you don't change your answer. You should definitely pick a position and stick with it. See it through. You can always say, "Oh, sir or ma'am, I understand your position and you make an excellent point, but blah blah blah." Tas yun, i-defend yun na ulit yung original answer nyo. So that's it, guys. Remember, don't overthink. There will be enough opportunity to overthink in law school. Kaya doon yun na gawin. So to wrap up, my tips are: number 1, to know the subject matter. Number 2, to prepare and to review. Number 3, to be conscious of time. Number 4, to focus on your weaker areas. Number 6, to read the question first if the problem is super long. Number 7, to use the elimination process. Do self-study by answering diagnostic tests. And after you're done studying, by answering mock exams. UP Law is a great community to be part of. When I took the l.a.e., there were more than 5,000 examinees throughout the Philippines, tapos 200 lang ang nakapasa. Like everything else in life, if you really want it, you're going to prepare yourself for it. Parang battle lang yan eh. You're not going to run into battle armed with like a paperclip. So good luck to everyone with your UP l.a.e. preparations. If you have any requests for any other videos that you want me to do, please leave them in the comment bar below. Please also don't forget to subscribe to my channel and turn on the notification bell below to receive updates on any future videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I wish you the best of luck with your respective law school journeys. Bye!